Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bahram. I'm an electrical contractor based out of Vancouver, BC. And in today's video, I want to show you the most common wiring that we use here in Canada. Let's get started. So the first wire we have here is a roll of 14-2. 14 is the gauge wire. That means it's a 14 gauge with two wire. This will be two conductor plus ground. The ground does not count when they're labeling the wires. For example, these are Lumix or what we call NMD90 by code. So these ones here are going to be used for your basic wiring. This could be for your plug outlets, receptacles, for your lighting and other things like microwave, fridges, dishwashers, and the majority of the wiring will be with the 14-2. Now another one that we use is the one here on the side, which is a 14-3. Now with a 14-3, this one has a black, white, and a red wire, plus again the bare ground wire that I mentioned, called the ground wire, or it's going to be the bonding wire at each location or each device, whether that will be a receptacle or a light fixture. And inside the boxes, we make these connections that are going to be bonding. The ground or the bond is carried out throughout at each location. And with the 14-2, this is the black wire will be the line wire. This will have the electrical current going through it, and the white wire will be used as what they call an identified wire, or is going to be the neutral wire, which is the same one. The black wire will be the hot, which will carry the current. With the 14-3, the black and the red both are going to be carrying the current or the power in them. The white will be to the neutral, and again the bare ground wire there as well. The application for something like the 14-3, this will be obviously used for things like lighting circuits, for when we're going to be doing 3-ways and 4-ways between the switches, because we need travelers and this won't have the capability of doing that. But also if you want to be running any kind of wiring or any circuits that you could have within one wire, you could have two power lines going out with the one neutral. These ones we can also use for different kind of circuits. Here in Canada, we have our electrical code that mentions regarding arc fault. For arc fault powers and arc fault circuits, for those we do need to make sure that they are not shared. So with that one, we cannot be using a 14-3. But anything else, let's say you have two different lighting circuits that you want to carry out for for two different floors, you could just have one 14-3, this wire here, go to one box, and from there the two lines can separate off. They cannot be connected together because that will create a 240 circuits, because line to line here in Canada is 240. Again, if you do need 240, obviously that's how you use it. If not, you do need to make sure they're separated. Now with the 14-2, again, this is the white sheeting. With this one, it also comes in blue. Depending on the company or the electrician, I guess you could use it for your home runs or any kind of arc fault that you want to identify at the panel, just because the way you the breakers you install and the way that you kind of finish off the panel and you splice in will be a little bit different. So to identify that, rather than marking it, that you're really quickly able to kind of splice in the panel, you could use the blue color sheeting for that. It makes it a little bit easier that way. Now all these wires that I have on the table right now, these are all NMD90 by code that what we call here, we call it Lumix. They are all copper. These ones are normally what you want to be using for your residential. This is going to be for your detached houses, some apartment buildings, some townhouses as well. Again, depending if it's a residential wood frame, or if you have steel studs, that will be a little bit different, which we'll go into afterwards as well. The next wire we have here, it is a 12-2, and again 12 is a wire gauge, and 2 mean there's two wires, the black and a white, again with the ground, with the bare ground wire inside. And this one you could tell right away because normally they are yellow. They also come in red at the job sites we use for heating circuits. This could be for like your baseboard heaters, and again this is just makes it a little bit easier at the panel to kind of splice in. With the red wire, you have the black, but rather than a white identified conductor, you have red. So you have a black, red, and your bare ground. And again, just for whoever is splicing the panel, makes it a little bit easier to make sure that there's no mistakes. Now with the 12 gauge wire, this one here, we use it for a little bit heavier loads. The 14-2 that I mentioned before, these are good up to rating up to 15 amps. With the 12, you could go up to 20 amps. Of course, you got to keep in mind 80% for the load calculation. On the 12-2s, we could use these for kitchen outlets, kitchen counter plugs, because they do need to be 20 amps, and that's have a little bit more power for the appliances and things like that you'll be using in the kitchen. Just makes it a little bit easier that way, and you have more power available to you at the kitchen counter. So this is your 12. These also come in the 12-3, like I mentioned, with the 14-3. There's also a 12-3 that you could use as well. Now with these two over here, these are bigger wires. This orange one here is a 10-3, again number 10 gauge with 3 wires inside. That will be your black, your red, white, and the bare ground. And this big one here, again, this is a white sheeting, but this is number 8. This is a 8-3. and again, black, red, white, and the bare ground. The orange is capable of going up to 30 amps. This one here, the most common application we have is going to be your dryer. The dryers here in Canada, normally 30 amps that we have to do the wiring for. The number 8, this could go up to 40 amps, and this would be covering things like your stove. All right, so next up here, we have our BX wires or AC90 wires. These are going to be mainly for your commercial applications. And again, different sizes here. So like this one here, we have the 14.2. And again, all the gauge wires and ampacity. So again, this one here is a 14.2. Now with this one here, again, it's going to have the 15 amperage capability with the 14. And again, we have the 14.3. So 14.2, 14.3, and 12.2 and 12.3, which I don't have here. I do have a special roller wire here. This one here is called the isolated ground wire. So what this is a 12.2 with an isolated ground. I'm not sure if you're able to see this or not, but here we have the set of wires here. So you have your black, your white, and then you have like the other wires that I kind of showed you. You have the bare ground, but here they also include a sheet ground as well. Now with the black, white, and I guess the green wires, these are all number 12. The bare wire is still number 14. Now the reason why we use this, the application we use this is going to be for patient care areas. This could be for like doctor's offices, dentist offices, as well as hospitals. And this is part of code that we need to use. And this is going to be for making sure that the rooms or areas, they're going to be machines that plug in and they need power that plug into the wall that is going to be either around someone, or it's going to be something with the machine they're going to be testing or using on somebody. They want to make sure they have there as an extra step for safety in case something happens with the machine or shorts out. It does have a direct path to go to the ground. Obviously with the bonding it does that, but that ground wire is one extra step for safety. Okay, so the last few wires that I have here that I want to show you guys, these are the RW90s. These are here are just conductors like I showed you. They come in at 14 gauge or 12 gauge and different gauges obviously as well. And what these ones get used to, just because they're a little bit more flexible, is the same wires that you have in the other 14.2 and 12.2s that I kind of showed you with the sheetings. This one does not have a sheeting, just because these are a little bit easier to be able to kind of bundle together. Like you see here, I have like the black, the white, and the green. I could make this like a 14.2 for example that I have in one sheet wire, but rather than having that, I could kind of combine all of this, put tape together with a fish tape, and be able to fish it through like a pipe, PVC pipe or EMT. And just because these are a little bit more flexible, a little bit nicer to kind of pull through those pipes, through bends, we use these instead. Another small roller of wire that I have here, this is a 18.2, meaning that again is an 18 gauge wire with only 2 wires. These ones, they do not include ground wire. It's just a 2 wire within the sheeting. And something like this we use for under cabinet lighting or any kind of low voltage wiring that we need to do. Even if you have an application, for example, if you have 0 to 10 volt dimming for some special commercial lighting, we could also use this wire as well. Again, they come in like the Lumix or NMD90 style, or they come in the BX as well. The next wire that I want to show you guys here, this is armor cable, but again with a little bit black sheeting on top. It comes in copper, which we call it a Tech 90, or they could come in aluminum, which is ACWU. Here in Canada, we call them. These ones can be on the surface. You could run it on the surface of any kind of building. You could run it on the ground, or you could even pour concrete on it. So these have really good applications. When we do things like electrical service upgrades for homes, for the electrical panels, normally we could use these to go on the meter base on the outside, to either from the back go into the building and go into the panel, or if you need to run it on the surface, if you're doing kind of electrical EV chargers and for a commercial setting, or even for your residential, you are able to use this to be able to run your circuits on the surface. All right, everyone, so I just wanted to do a close-up of all the wires that we kind of talked about today. The first one here, this is the 14.2, the 90, and this is the, like I mentioned, the black, the white, and the bare copper. This one here is the 14.3, so again the black, white, and the bare plus the red. We'll be using it for different applications that you either need a 240 volt plus the neutral, or you just have an application that you want to be running 2 different circuits or 2 different home runs to one location, and from there you can splice off and still be able to share the neutral. The other one here, the yellow one, it's a 12.2. The 12 is the gauge. With these ones, they are 14. The white and the black are the 12 gauge. The bare copper is still 14, and there's also going to be the, like I mentioned, 12.3, which I don't have here. The orange wire here, this is the number 10. So this is a 10.3. So we have black, the red, and the white, plus the ground wire. The ground wire in this case, it is going to be number 12. So they're going to increase the size for the ground wire at this point. And as you go up, this is the number 8. You have the black, the white, and the red, plus the bare wire for the bonding or the ground wire. And again, that's going to be now number 10. On this side, we have the 14.2 AC90 or BX wire, the 14.3, 12.2, and this is the isolated ground that I was talking about that we use for patient care or doctor, dental, office applications, where you have the black and the white. Number 12, bare wire, which is going to be number 14, and the isolated ground, which is going to be covered with green sheeting in this application. That's going to be used for the extra grounding, and even the receptacles that they use, it is going to be a special receptacle. You have to make sure that you are bonding those properly and kind of making them go through to each location. And the last wire that I have here, this is the Tech 90. It's copper, but like I mentioned, they come in aluminum, which is going to be the ACW. And this one here has the black, the red. In this case, they use blue and the bare ground or bonding. They use blue because these wires are also, like I mentioned, for commercial. You could use them for three-phase type of wiring as well, for like transformers and different equipments that you need three-phase. So that's why they have it as a blue. These ones actually come with a string, as you can see here, because once you actually cut this, and like these ones, the armor cables that has underneath, you cut those back. Rather than cutting these all the way through, you're able to grab the string and kind of pull it back. I can do it right now with one hand, but as you pull this back, it kind of uncovers the sheathing here, which then you're able to cut for your desired length of conductor that you wanted to show. Thank you for watching my YouTube video. Please like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to check out my other videos that I have posted on my channel, and leave any comments for any content that you would like to see from me next. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I will see you on the next one.